What is up, guys? It is Sunday the 11th of December. I'm just a floating head, and this is your tech news roundup. First up, I want to talk about everyone's favourite video platform, YouTube, obviously. And then on top of that, I actually want to talk about everyone's favourite YouTuber, which is Pewdiepie. You see, he's had an interesting week. You see, Pewdiepie announced that at 50 million subscribers, he was going to delete his channel because YouTube was rigged against him and they were looking to get someone else at the top and they'd been losing subscribers and all this wacky fun stuff. And he was roughly 200,000 subscribers away when he said that, and then after just a couple of days, he reached 50 million and he deleted his account. Plot twist, he didn't delete his main account. Who'd have guessed? He actually deleted his secondary account. But here's the interesting thing. When he announced he was going to be deleting his account, the media went crazy. Like, if you watch the video and you've watched any of Felix's videos before, you can kinda tell that he's kidding. He's not being completely serious when he says half of the stuff he says, but everyone expects that he's actually deleting his account because he's white and privileged. A lot of media outlets went completely crazy, referring to him as a racist and just kind of stuff you don't want to see. And I mean, personally, I found it amusing because you could tell that, like, a lot of his fans, if you'd like read the comments, you could tell that a lot of them knew that he was kidding, but a lot of people didn't. And it was just so funny. And it was, he trolled the internet. He essentially trolled the internet. It was in fact such a big deal that YouTube had to make a statement saying that they hadn't changed the algorithms like PewDiePie had claimed, that the system wasn't rigged, and they had to like publicly defend themselves because PewDiePie made this video. And when he made the deleting my channel video, he said that it had all been a joke. And I found it kind of funny, I'll be honest. Now, YouTube is always changing its algorithms. That's just something it constantly does because it doesn't want to be gamed by anyone, right? But the worst thing to do is to keep your algorithm the same. Someone finds out how the algorithm works and then they can guarantee they're at the top of it all the time without fail. So they're constantly making tweaks. And about 3 months ago, they made a couple of large ones. As much as I'd like to go through it, it's one of those things where I don't really have enough knowledge in the subject. And the people over at Game Theory, specifically MatPat, made a really interesting video about this. It's a two-parter and only one's up so far. So go check that one out because it is genuinely an interesting watch. And it shows how YouTube is shifting, going from a video hosting platform to wanting to be more of a television company. So go check that out. It is a genuinely interesting watch. Anyway, enough about PewDiePie, let's talk real tech. And I'm going to take a minute to rant, specifically to Samsung and to some extent Apple, but slightly more to Samsung. I've had a massive go at Apple, as when they removed the headphone jack I referred to it as a lot of bad things. I'm sure I called them stupid at least once, and that it was a really terrible idea, and I still believe it is. However, with the S8 coming out early next year, Samsung rumours are off the wall, and believe it or not, someone has claimed that, well, I say someone has claimed that, there are a couple of sources alleging that Samsung has dropped the headphone jack for their S8, now that Apple have taken most of the fire for really dropping it on their iPhone 7. Sure, Samsung will get a lot less of a backlash if they do it, now that people are used to it because of iPhones, but that doesn't make it any better. I still think it's a really stupid idea, and I still think that it's something that genuinely alienates and annoys the end user. It's something that, it's a port that's universal and not owned by one particular company, and there's a real fragmentation that's at risk of this. And Samsung, you're not being smart, please just put a damn headphone jack on. The only consolation is, if they make USB-C headphones, then it makes a universal standard for the rest of Android, or at least it will as of 2018, because by then all companies will have to have USB-C, but until then it will just be if you buy a newer phone, and if you have an older phone you need a headphone jack, and there's this whole fragmentation issue. You see where I'm going with this, right? Essentially what we need is a Samsung logo, which instead of the word Samsung says, "Welcome to Dongle City," and one of those from Apple as well. That'd be great. Let's do it. We need a Welcome to Dongle City logo for stuff. That'd be great. But yeah, it's the reality isn't as great. And also a quick side note, if you for whatever reason still have your Note 7, which you really shouldn't by now, like genuinely shouldn't, Samsung pushed an update that meant that it doesn't charge past 30%, and it's expected to push another update in the next week or so that completely disables the device. What happens if you don't install the update? I don't know. No one's quite sure, but it's one of those things where you should definitely return your phone if you haven't already. And the interesting question will be whether or not they continue to offer full refunds once you hand in your brick device. Like, when they push that update, will they be like, well, technically the phone doesn't work now or do anything anyway, so you know. We'll have to wait and see for that. It's not been a good few months for Samsung. And while we're talking about audio, you know those AirPods that Apple promised 3 months ago when they announced the iPhone 7 as the future of audio? Thanks to the fact that, you know, wires aren't of the future apparently, because, ooh, why do you want a cable for your headphones? Wouldn't you prefer to charge them every night? Well, they announced the AirPods as their excuse for not having a headphone jack, and then went, it'll be on sale soon. Well, in a move that's not very much like Apple, a device that should have been delivered roughly 3 months ago has probably been pushed back to 2017 after it was delayed from its initial release date, and no one's quite sure when it's going to appear. Apparently they've been having issues with the technology in it, and that's not saying much considering the iPhone 7 in general has apparently been having a lot of Bluetooth pairing problems anyway, and the W1 chip is just a glorified way of saying it uses Bluetooth. So yeah, surprise surprise, if you ask Apple when they're coming, they send one of those like really good fake emails that doesn't actually give you the right answer, where they're like, we are constantly working on our product and we are in the final phases and we are hoping it ships soon. Which basically means they have no idea and no one's quite sure why there's a delay. If you didn't know, AirPods are basically those AirPods, the headphones that come with the phone, but instead have the cord cut off and look ridiculous. Like, there isn't a single redeeming factor about those things. Like, not even slightly. In fact, internally they're almost identical to the standard AirPods in every single way, apart from the fact they're wireless and they need to be charged frequently, and they cost £150. So yeah, have fun with that. But hey, if you want wireless audio, it's not like you can get better and cheaper, right? I mean, it's not like anyone else makes wireless headphones that are Bluetooth, that are really nice in terms of quality of audio or build quality and won't constantly fall out your ears, and are actually comfortable and won't constantly fall out your ears, and maybe even you can get a more expensive one that's noise cancelling and really comfortable and won't fall out your ears. Who knows, you know, they're just... if only. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. It's been one of those weeks, and I you know, whatever. If you enjoyed the video though, make sure to click like. If you didn't, I'm not quite sure what you're doing here. However, there is good news. You can click here to see the previous video, and which is great, you should go do that. And you can click here to see what YouTube thinks will be your favourite video, so you can do that as well, right? Who would have guessed? And if neither of those are your thing, click here and you can subscribe. And trust me, you want to do that, because then you'll be able to see all of the videos. So go do that, go have some fun, and I'll see you guys next time.